Ladies and gentlemen, pause for a moment. Become still. Feel the air entering your body and observe how your thoughts are moving. Are they silent or are they racing? Are you present here or are you already somewhere else caught in memories, worries, or distractions? Before anything in life can change, before any transformation can begin, one must first develop the ability to see clearly. This clarity does not come from outside. It does not come from books, opinions, or trends. It arises from self-awareness, the ability to observe yourself without judgment, without reacting, simply watching. To begin the path of reinvention, you must first look into the mirror of your life and ask, who am I right now? What thoughts dominate my mind? What emotions visit me most frequently? What habits am I feeding each day? These questions are not meant to create guilt or self-blame. They are tools, and when used with honesty, they reveal the truth of how you are living. Without this truth, without this seeing, any attempt to change becomes shallow, like painting over a cracked wall without fixing the foundation. Observe how you respond to challenges. Do you retreat, defend, or attack? Notice your routines. Are they building your energy or slowly draining it? Become aware of your relationships. Do they support your growth, or do they keep you attached to old versions of yourself? Self-awareness is not something that arrives one day and stays forever. It must be practiced, just like breathing consciously. It must be cultivated in silence, in movement, and in the spaces between thought and action. When you become aware of yourself, you gain the power to choose. You are no longer a puppet of emotion or habit. You are no longer repeating patterns unconsciously. You can see clearly, and from that seeing, you can act. True awareness is not just mental, it's embodied. It is felt in how you walk, how you speak, how you respond to the world. It is the light that allows you to notice when you are slipping back into fear, doubt, or distraction, and to gently bring yourself back. This is where reinvention begins, not with ambition, not with pressure, but with presence. You begin again the moment you truly see where you are. And from that place, you no longer need to rush. There is no need to compare your path with others. Your growth unfolds naturally, step by step, when you are willing to observe, to reflect, and to adjust. Reinvention is not a battle. It is a dance between who you are and who you are becoming, and self-awareness is the rhythm that guides your every step. Breathe again, feel your body, and gently ask yourself, am I awake to my own life? If the answer is yes, continue. If the answer is no, begin now, because this very moment holds the key to everything that comes next. You are not the stories you tell yourself. You are not the echoes of your past choices. You are not the names others have given you, nor the roles you've been playing to meet their expectations. So much of life becomes repetition because we carry the past like a heavy backpack full of what was, what should have been, and what we wish we could change. But the weight is not real unless you choose to hold it. Each moment is fresh, but the mind, if left untrained, keeps reaching back to remind you of your failures, your regrets, your missed chances. It speaks with authority, saying, this is who you are because this is who you've been. But this is not truth, it is only memory. And memory is a tool, not a prison. The power of reinvention comes when you recognize that the past may explain you, but it does not define you. There is a difference between remembering and becoming. You can learn from the past without being trapped by it. When you realize this, the energy tied up in guilt, shame, or resentment begins to loosen. You start to walk lighter. Your breath deepens. You feel space open up inside you, space for something new, something unknown, something real. To let go of the past is not to forget. It is to forgive not just others, but yourself, for the times you didn't know better, for the moments you stayed silent, for the decisions made in fear. You do not need to carry them anymore. They served their purpose, they brought you here, but now they must be released. Only then Can you step into the life that is waiting for you? This is not a process of becoming someone else. It is about uncovering who you were before the noise. Beneath the layers of labels and identity, there is something constant, something untouched. When you touch that stillness within you, you no longer seek permission to change. You no longer need approval to evolve. You understand that life is not asking you to be perfect. It is asking you to be real and to keep growing. Your past is like a river that has already flowed beneath the bridge. You can't hold on to it. You can't jump into the same water twice, so why live as though you are stuck in what already passed? The courage to reinvent yourself begins with the decision to let go, to no longer be a character in a story that doesn't reflect your truth. You are not your past. You are the presence that watches, that learns, that changes, and that begins again as many times as needed. You have the right to be new. You have the freedom to create, to choose, and to walk forward without dragging yesterday behind you. Let the past be a teacher, not a chain. Step forward with lightness, because who you were is not who you must remain. Transformation is often misunderstood. People wait for big moments, loud changes, or signs from the outside. They believe that a single event will spark their reinvention. But real change, the kind that lasts, does not begin in noise, it begins in stillness. The path of transformation is paved not with grand actions, but with small, quiet steps taken consistently. You wake up early, not because someone told you to, but because your inner compass calls for discipline. You sit in silence, breathe consciously, and train your awareness. You move your body, not to impress others, but to honor the energy within you. These are not dramatic moments. They will not be seen or praised, but they are the bricks that build the foundation of your becoming. What seems small is powerful when it is done with intention. One breath taken with presence is more valuable than 100 distracted actions. One step taken with clarity brings more progress than 1,000 steps taken in confusion. The world may not notice when you choose to turn off distractions and focus on your inner growth, but your spirit does. Your nervous system does, and slowly your life does. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, presence over reaction, silence over noise, you shape the path you are walking. The transformation is not immediate. You may not see it after one day or even a week, but over time, like water shaping stone, your quiet efforts become visible. Your posture changes. Your mind becomes calmer. Your decisions gain precision. People may ask what changed, and the answer is simple. You chose to show up when it wasn't easy, when no one was watching, and when your old patterns tried to pull you back. This is why small actions matter. Because they are done in private, they reflect your sincerity. Because they are not driven by external reward, they are pure. And because they are repeated, they become habits. Habits become character. Character shapes destiny. Do not underestimate the power of the unseen. The seed grows in darkness before it breaks the ground. The mountain stands tall because of the silent layers beneath. Your growth is the same. It begins in the quiet choices you make each day, how you wake up, how you move, how you think, how you respond to what life brings. There is no need for applause. There is no need for recognition. The real reward is the person you become through this quiet discipline. You become steady, you become rooted, you become aligned, and slowly, without trying to impress anyone, you begin to embody the strength, calm, and clarity that others can feel. Transformation is not a show. It is a sacred process. Honor the small steps. They are the path itself. Keep walking, even when no one sees, especially when no one sees. Because in those unseen moments, your true self begins to emerge. ChatGPT said, "Growth does not come without cost." Every transformation demands a letting go. To step into a new way of living, something must be left behind. The journey of reinvention is not simply about adding more to yourself. It is about releasing what no longer serves the person you are becoming. And this release is not easy. It requires sacrifice. To sacrifice is not to lose. It is to choose wisely. When you release comfort, you make room for strength. When you let go of distraction, you create space for clarity. When you abandon the need for approval, you uncover your inner authority. Each time you sacrifice something small, you are trading it for something greater, something real, something lasting. There is a comfort in routine, even when it no longer serves you. The mind prefers the known, even if the known brings pain. It clings to old habits, old identities, and old reactions. The familiar becomes a cage that feels like safety, but reinvention requires you to break that illusion. You must step beyond it. You must give up the comfort of who you were to discover who you can be. This does not happen in one single act. It happens daily, choosing to be silent when your ego wants to argue, choosing discipline when your body wants to rest, choosing truth when a lie would be easier. These are the sacrifices that shape a new life. They are internal, they are quiet, and they are powerful. Many people want change, but few are willing to make these sacrifices. They want the reward without the cost, the new beginning without the ending, but the old must fall away. The snake must shed its skin. The tree must lose its leaves. The night must come before the dawn. Nature teaches this truth in every cycle. Let go of the need to be understood by everyone. Let go of the fear of judgment. Let go of the comfort that has kept you stagnant. These sacrifices are not acts of suffering. They are acts of strength. They show that you value your future more than your past, your purpose more than your pride, your freedom more than your fear. As you release, you will feel empty. This is natural, but in that emptiness, something new will begin to grow. A deeper calm, a clearer direction, a more powerful presence. These are not things you can force. They arise naturally when space is created for them. So do not resist the sacrifices. Honor them. They are the price of awakening. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you align more deeply with your path. You may not always see the change immediately, but it is happening step by step, breath by breath, one choice at a time. To transform is to give up the lesser, so the greater can emerge. Make peace with sacrifice. It is not the end. It is the beginning of something higher. There is a tendency in the mind to postpone. It tells you, tomorrow I will begin. It waits for the perfect moment, the ideal situation, the right mood. But the truth is, there is no perfect moment outside of this one. Every breath, every second that arrives, holds the full possibility of transformation. The present moment is not small. It is the doorway to your entire life. If you cannot begin now, when will you begin? Reinvention does not require waiting. It requires willingness, and that willingness must happen now. Not next week, not when everything aligns, because the world outside may never align the way you expect. But your inner world, your focus, your discipline, your commitment, can align in this very breath. That is the power of presence. When you are fully present, even the smallest action becomes meaningful. A single step taken now is more powerful than 1,000 steps imagined for the future. Look closely at how the mind avoids the present. It drifts into memories, gets lost in stories, or rushes toward fantasies of the future. This drifting steals your energy. It scatters your attention. It keeps you from the only place where real change is possible, here and now. Presence is not passive. It is active, alive, alert. It asks you to wake up and take responsibility for this moment, not for what has happened before, not for what might come, just this one moment and then the next. This is where reinvention begins, not in plans, not in promises, but in the decision to live with intention now. You don't need a new year, a new place, or someone's permission. You only need the courage to be present. And presence is a skill. It must be practiced, like breathing consciously or walking with awareness. The more you return to the moment, the more power you reclaim. You stop reacting. You begin choosing. You stop drifting. You start creating. The mind may resist. It may say, "But I am not ready." But readiness is not something you wait for. It is something you become by stepping into what is here. Every habit, every pattern, every change you desire begins with this decision to engage fully with what is now, not halfway, not with hesitation, but with presence and sincerity. There will always be distractions. There will always be reasons to delay. But the one who transforms is the one who stops negotiating with time. They stop arguing with the moment. They step into it. And in doing so, they begin to shape their life from the inside out. There is nothing missing in this moment. It contains everything you need to begin again, to breathe with intention, to act with clarity, to let go of what no longer serves you. This moment is the seed. What it becomes is up to you, so begin, not later, now. The life you desire is not something that will be handed to you. It is not found in the noise of the world or in the approval of others. It is created from within, through the silent, steady work of mastering yourself. This is not about becoming more to impress the outside, but becoming more aligned with what is real and lasting inside you. The foundation of everything you seek begins with inner mastery. When the mind is untrained, it reacts. It chases desires, avoids discomfort, and resists discipline. It becomes a servant to habit and impulse. But when the mind is cultivated through awareness, it becomes calm, sharp, and steady. It no longer pulls you in different directions. It becomes an ally, and with a trained mind, you begin to live with purpose, not confusion. You begin to act, not merely react. This is the starting point of real creation. The world may offer tools, resources, and opportunities. But if the inner world is chaotic, none of these things can be used properly. Even the most beautiful chance can be missed when you are filled with doubt or fear. That is why the real work lies within. It is in how you breathe when things get hard. It is in how you speak when emotions rise. It is in the thoughts you allow and the ones you let go. This mastery is not about control. It is about understanding. You study yourself not to dominate who you are, but to walk in harmony with yourself. You observe your triggers. You learn from your setbacks. You recognize your patterns. And as you become more familiar with the inner workings of your mind, your emotions, and your body, you begin to move through life with greater ease. You become like water, adaptable but strong, calm but capable of carving stone. You don't break in chaos. You bend, observe, and return. This strength is not loud, it is not dramatic, but it is unshakable. And from this place of still power, you begin to create your life step by step with intention. Every external result begins as an internal condition. A focused mind leads to focused action. A peaceful heart leads to clear decisions. A disciplined body supports consistent effort. Without these inner qualities, the outer life remains unstable. But when you build these within yourself, you become rooted. No storm can easily move you. No challenge can easily shake you. This is how you step into the life you deserve, not by waiting for something outside to change, but by becoming the kind of person who is ready for that life. The one who can hold it, the one who can sustain it, the one who no longer needs to chase, because they attract through presence, clarity, and strength. So turn inward, not to escape the world, but to master the self that moves through it. That is where your real power lives, and from that power, the life you long for begins to rise, quietly, steadily, from within.